Oh, hello everyone. Today I'm here with Devaka, and she does a beautiful work called
Shamantrix.
Shamantrix. So she's helping me um, through the interview to guide me and explain to the beautiful work that she does. And today we are here to listen to her. So let's see what she has to share. And she's gonna tell us a little bit more about herself.
All right. So, back in about 1998, I brought Margot Anand, and she's leads tantra groups around the world. Internet. She's an international tantra teacher, and I happened to be studying sky dancing tantra with her. And Harold Dull, who teaches Watsu, and brought sky dancing tantra and Watsu to Maui. And many people are doing now water dancing and many levels of um, the connection of the water with sexuality. Of course, that's very connected. So I've been doing Tantra since I was 33 years old. And sky dancing Tantra is just one of the forms of Tantra that I work with. So my sessions are tailored to the person, and they're about opening up the energies, the Kundalini. I call myself like Kundalini Shakti Ma, and I activate the channels and open the channels for people. And I'm trained in like three different yoga traditions, from Kundalini yoga to Kriya yoga and integral hatha yoga. And I'm a body worker, hypnotherapist, psychic, healer, channel, yogini and dakini, hypnotherapist. I've trained in a lot of things because when I started, um, there were no programs. You couldn't get your master's or anything in this holistic world. And I saw that what was missing was, to me, the elephant in the room was uh, our sexuality and our life force and our mana and our prana and our vitality. That the world we live in, the food we were eating was all processed, and everything was not organic. So I'm here to activate the organic timeline on Mother Earth, and only love is real.
Yay, I love it. I love to share because that's exactly why we're here today. We are doing that for Mother Earth, and we are creating this community and just sharing what each one has to offer to help, the process that we're going through. And thank you so much for explaining to us about about the beautiful work that you do. And I was going to ask how the next question, how do you think you can provide more, help people to have a more joyful life with the work that you do?
Oh, well, my work is all about ecstasy. Um, so, first of all, for myself, I'm all about ecstatic embodiment. And especially for the divine feminine, it's really important for women to be ecstatically embodied. And, the first time I ever got a massage, the guy giving it to me, maybe I was 19, he said, "You're about as much fun to massage as the refrigerator." And I said, "Wow, well, how am I supposed to be?" Because I was a good girl. I just laid there like this, frozen. And he said, "Well, you know how when you pet a cat and its body responds and it rises up under your hand?" And that gave me my idea about, wow, it might be okay to feel sensual. So I was very intellectual. Then I realized, lawns have more fun, and being so smart isn't really where it's at. And it might be more fun to be more sensuous and more playful. And so that's what I'm about, is about bringing joy and fun and playfulness and sensuality here, and making it a divine expression of God Goddess.
Do you think people do deserve to be free
Of
to
course,
express
I'm
themselves?
yes, I believe in my own sovereignty, and everybody has their own sovereign frequency here. And I believe the veils are lifting, and we're in this ascension process, which is really a descension of the light into our bodies, so that we're more embodied and more proprioceptive, and we are naturally psychic, and we do know, and we do see, and we do hear, if we allow that to happen. So I've spent my life releasing the conditioning and helping other people to release the conditioning. That's what I had, to be frozen like a refrigerator, to the shame, the modesty, to release that so that I could be free to express myself and to help others express themselves. I remember one time I was at the I was taken to the Tucson Gem Show, and I remember that was in 1986. I remember for the first time realizing that I love to look in people's eyes, and that was divine nourishment for me. And but I was trained growing up in New York: avert your eyes, don't look at people, don't let them look in your eyes, because of course the eyes are the windows of the soul, and our soul wants to be nourished by another person. So that's part of Tantra too, is being able to gaze into each other's eyes and feel that intimacy and connect on a deeper soul level, not on a personality level, letting go of the ego, the egoic conditioning, even the negative egotism that thinks, well, I'm too good, or I shouldn't be this good, or I shouldn't look this good, or I shouldn't be this happy. And I noticed how hungry I was to look in another person's eyes, and that I could just stay there forever. And and I remember how challenging it was to train myself to be willing to stay a few extra seconds there to absorb that nourishment for my soul. And then I realized that's a gift to other people that I can give, and they all appreciate it. Because especially men with women, women often avert their eyes, they're shy, they have to play this way at times. This is an old program that's leaving now, but it's been there. And so I've worked on many different levels like that, in just being playful in society, showing up and dancing publicly, just being willing to express yourself. And this Maui community is a very safe place to do that. So it's really lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about love, that would be my next question. How do you think love makes the difference in the work that you do?
Well, I also remember, I mean, what my work is about getting people into their central channel, the Shashumna, or as I said, opening the Kundalini. But really now we are coming from the heart center. We are heart centered. So that's where love emanates from. And it is from the heart. And um, and out your arms, which are giving and providing and nurturing and hugging. So uh, it's all about, now we're coming from the heart, and we're in our Merkaba, which is a multi-dimensional form around us. And so I remember realizing, in my previous work, a lot of my work, like as a body worker, was alignment, like getting people to clear blockages in the central channel. But then I realized, if I came from my heart each time, that was so lacking for most people, just to feel that heart center. Or when I hug, to really, when I greeted people, to just, like I said, look in their eyes and have our bodies hold each other and press and feel our hearts there. Or we do a hand on heart also as part of Tantra, where we look in the eyes and put our hands on each other's heart and feel the heartbeat and send energy through our arms and circulate it. So I realized these very simple practices are very lacking for most people. They've rarely ever done this before, and how good it feels and how simple it is. And it's completely free, energetically free, but many people have boundaries, and you have all your clothes. That's another thing I realized. Oh, I have all my clothes on, you have all your clothes on, we're just looking in each other's eyes, or we're just touching each other's hearts with permission, or we're just hugging each other and feeling the energy. So these are just some simple parts of my practice that happen when people work with me.
And you teach them how to share that love energy, then, like, to really be into each other's energy and share that love.
Well, it's in my field. People, the minute they come here, they feel it. You felt it when
Oh
you
yes,
walked
I
in.
did.
The Tantra is 64 sacred art forms, like from flower arranging to the clothes you wear to interior decorating to the food you cook to how it's put on your plate to love making. Mostly people think of Tantra as love making, but it's about everything, about how consciously you eat or so this is part of the practice. So if it's not there, then I add that. I see what ingredient is this person needing that's missing. A lot of people don't breathe. They're not really breathing. They're not really receiving. Maybe they're always exhaling so much and they're not really inhaling. So that would be part of it. Or maybe people haven't been touched enough. We're touch deprived in this culture, many of us, and we're not in our bodies, or we're maybe in our heads all the time and we're always driving and we're not relaxing. So I like to add the missing ingredients, like a fine cook knows, that needs a pinch of salt, that needs a little more cayenne pepper, like that. So I'm like Felix the cat with a bag of tricks. I have studied so many with so many masters, and then my guides just tell me what it is that I'm to do with that person. I don't even hear it anymore. I just know what to do and what to add. And of course, it's all with permission. It's in the space that I open for people.
Beautiful. And my next question would be any suggestion that you have, as you said, you've been in that journey for a while and you've met masters and even working with people in general. Do you have any suggestion for the ones that are starting the healing journey right now, how they can access that spiritual world you just talked about, that knowing, that intuition, how they really start believing and connecting to it? Because it's over, we know it's over there for all of us. Do you have any suggestion? How can people that are in the beginning of their journey to access that spiritual world?
Well, there's so many different, whatever you're drawn to for people. Like if you're, many of the local people here, they might not be spiritual. They may even go to churches. They might have all their tribal tattoos on their body, but they're very spiritual people. You can feel their vibes, like a surfer. How to surf? They have to be very tuned in to the ocean, or otherwise they're swallowed by the ocean. So spirituality is very vast for me. It's not just this new age gobbledygook kind of thing. There's many forms of spirituality. And so that's what I'm saying. It's individual for everybody what the spice is that's missing or what the advice would be. But I would definitely recommend that everybody would come to have a session with me, because then they would have information. I could give that particular information, or just treating yourself to a session, you could become aware of what you just gain so much in just one session about yourself, and where you were blocked or needed to go or wanted to go or what you wanted to explore. And it's not just there. My work, at times, I've brought people to Maui and had groups, and couples will come here for a retreat for a week to renew their love life, let's say, or learn how to communicate with each other, or people who are socially inept that don't know how to speak or communicate or find love or feel love in their own body, or have been wounded or damaged from a past experience in this lifetime, or maybe even in another, or had some kind of operation or surgery or some kind of illness that they haven't gotten to the source of. This is another part of my work. And I read cards also. So sometimes people get good advice about, I'll hear, like the other day on the beach, I heard somebody's name. I've given out, I call myself a namer. I give out spiritual names, which maybe your name is because your dead ancestor was an alcoholic, that your mother loved your uncle, and he turns out he was a drug addict or an alcoholic, and then that energy is in you, and you haven't cleared that. So, um, Some people, their family name, whatever that is that they were given, isn't going to get them where they need to go, and they need to have their Maui name, so to speak, and that might open up some energy for them. So that's all of that is an aspect of my work and my session. I never know. And even one other thought was coming to mind when I was starting to say that, which is that I swim every day. So the ocean has been my great teacher. It really got deeper during COVID. Every day I would swim miles along the coast, and the sea creatures would come to me. And that's another thing, because they're like your they're they're great masters of different kinds of uh, shamanic teachers. And like the turtle with the shell, and one client was, she had to take off her shell, her protection, let's say. So the animals or the dolphins are about playfulness or telepathy. They teach us how to be more free or more joyful, or there's wisdom that is encoded in the whales and in their blubber and in their ability to nurture and be in tribe and be a pod and be in spherical consciousness. So the animals, the creatures around us are creatures are teachers. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. You're saying very specific to each person and what they need to do to access the spiritual world, and you definitely can help, can guide them, but mostly to be present, to be connected to things
Yes.
around you that they are always teaching you.
Yes. I yesterday also, aside from naming somebody, prior to that, somebody taught me something, which was about, they were talking about hitting my body, punching my body, my bones, punching my bones. And I realized I don't really need to punch my bones. But when he started slapping my skin, I realized that that was what my body needed for my lymph to be activated and a certain kind of fire on the surface. But he really needed maybe some water and some cooling and some swimming and some flow. So his body type was so pitta or fiery or hot. And he recognizes the fire in me. But I still have other kinds of elements that are in me that are very floating and flowing, that I need a certain kind of surface fire. So that's what it is we're each made in our own divine image, and we each require, some people like roses, some people like orchids, some people are into sunsets and some people are into moonrises, so each of us is very individual and unique and requires different things that really activate us and turn us on and bring us joy and make us feel that love. Some people are extrovert, they like to be around people that get energized, and other people need that divine silence more, or maybe more nature. So, yeah, I like to work with individuals, and I just hear directly what it is for that person that I need to do with them.
Beautiful. And our next question would be, can you just give us a little glimpse from how you do, and but very directed to the Mother Earth healing, and then this way all of us can receive. Can you do just a little bit? Uh, anything you'd like to share, even give a name, as you said, or anything that you think we as a world are missing right now. Anything you'd like to share? This is like opportunity to you to just do a healing for all of us.
Okay, well, what I will share was what it came through in the beginning was that in 2011, the dolphins, because I swim every day, I was swimming a lot with the dolphins. And actually, I'm known as Devaka Dolfriends. The dolphins asked me to be an emissary to humanity on their behalf. And they swam me out to whales that were out there that wanted to interact. They're probably juvenile whales. And I formulated something called Dolfriends at that time, which I haven't followed up very much on, but it was right on December 31st of 2011, which is right on the edge of 2012, which was supposed to be some big year. And I actually was in the Mayan temples back in 1989, and I opened the Mayan temples for Jose Arguelles and Hunbat's men. So I am a primordial divine feminine. I'm an original. I am an original frequency prophetess, priestess here. I just say that humbly because I'm coming to know that that's true. It's very hard for us to accept the divinity of ourselves, but that's why I'm here, is to activate that. And I started this work called Dolfriends, and on the back of the card I wrote, "You are invited to participate." Participate. Since we are all here on one little blue planet sharing bodies of water, join our party, become podnas, and network. So it was supposed to be a society of people that were sensual, playful, doing healing work, ecological. It was interconnected, having fun, being the water quality is part of it, the water rights that are here, because we all need clean water, clean air, clean food. We're all, every one of us, we can say, we all require that as human beings. We all bleed red. And so that's what's missing, is that there's all this separation and divisiveness that isn't connecting our humanity with each other, our hue, this color, humanity, that we are all the same frequency. We are all of the light. And so that's what the dolphins taught me and asked me to express, that even all this weirdness around yonis, I call it universal wisdom, universal knowledge, just start speaking about that, not as if, oh, we can't say those words, the private parts can't talk about it. That's where we all came from, our mother's womb. We all came from the yoni, the universe, universal wisdom, universal knowledge. And that's like a saline solution. That's like the ocean. That's like amniotic fluid. So reconnecting with the Mother Earth. And when we say Mother Earth, to me, she's over 66% water. It's not really land. It's mostly one little blue sphere that's in the middle of a huge universe. And so that's what we're connecting with now in the Aquarian age, is more of the water element, purifying the waters and purifying our own internal water, our own bloodlines, genetic, generational, ancestral bloodlines. And for that, we need clean food, clean water, clean air. And we all need that. We need no war, no bombs, no fracking, none of this. We need pure sunlight, pure wind power. We need to devise good ways to create energy for us all to subsist here, to coexist here. And like the Iroquois nation, divine mothers, they thought 7 generations ahead when they planted. They wanted to make sure that everything they did was sustainable. They didn't just bring mongoose in here, and then the mongoose are supposed to kill the rats, but one hunts at night and one hunts at day. And that's humans' idea. So we have to be in concordance with the divine plan. And I am here to create a Buddha field, which to me is a 360-degree spherical pod consciousness. We're beyond the tribal. We're moving into global or spherical consciousness and galactivating. I'm into galactivation.
That's beautiful. And would you like to share anything else with us?
I'd love to turn the camera this way. Look at the rainbows.
Of course, I've seen them behind you.
Oh,
They're
am I
like
having
going
rainbows
around.
too?
Yes,
Yeah, there's
beautiful.
beautiful rainbows on the Buddha.
We just talked about it. Look, and all got light up.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the next painting is next to it. The gold one is Isis and Osiris, the divine union and the harvest, the fruitfulness. I just got that when I came back from Israel and Egypt, so that was from there. So I think I just am grateful that I've been gifted this Maui life and the beautiful people that all want to come to Maui. And I'm here and available, and I'm really open to working with people and supporting, just through my beingness, uh, the transformation of this planet and people upon the planet.
Beautiful. And the last thing, would you like to show us your room that you do your healing or anything you would like to share more with us?
Okay, we could do that. So, what we think we become. Yeah, that's what the Buddha said, what we think we become. So, this is my little altar where I offer transformational body work here. So, come, join me in my Buddha field.
You guys should feel the energy. So beautiful.
Yeah, so this is my space. This is Hathor, the queen of the celestial realms, and Isis and Inanna, Osiris. This is from prior to before we were separated from the unified field. Here's the Yab Yum, the tantric energy, and the Ankh, the immortal life. And this is the space that I work in. So I'm just grateful. Sometimes mostly I work on the table, but sometimes I do like rebirthing. I do breath work with people, regression work, hypnotherapy work, read cards, have couples here, and I try to make it a yummy space so that people can feel free to relax and get naked and reveal themselves to themselves, feel comfortable feeling themselves. Yeah.
So nice. I definitely can feel that energy, like that beautiful feminine energy, that sexuality, and that freedom. Here, that does have like an energy like freedom just to be yourself. And that's so beautiful.
Yeah. And of course, I judged myself. Oh, I wasn't small enough. I wasn't thin enough. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. And so many women do have a lot of self deprecating, self judgment. And I think that as I've matured, I've become more comfortable with myself. And I think I emanate that for women. I'm I call myself a chick magnet because so many women are just drawn to me and I never know what it was. And then I went, I think that must be what it is. People said, that's what it is. You accept yourself and you radiate that. So that's been a process. Believe me, I didn't pop out. I did pop out that way, but very soon thereafter, of course, all those judgments and conditions came upon me, like many of you, and that's what my work is because I've been through it too. People think, oh yeah, you're such a goddess. Well, believe me, it's been a work in progress. So I'm here
Right?
to support people in that.
I've heard a good saying that whatever happened to us, that we heal ourselves, that's why we teach to the world.
Yeah.
So it definitely it's a lesson that we have from our own, and then we can just show people the way how we can get there.
Yeah, sometimes like when I was asked by Marcel to figure out to speak, I was like, when I was asked by you, it's like, what am I gonna say? Because I don't really know what I do. I just am. So then I just was like, and that happens every time I have a session. And sometimes I get really scared, like, how can I help this person? And then I have to pray and ask my angels and spirit guides, and they always come and help me. And and even sometimes if I'm not feeling good, sometimes those days people say, oh my God, that was the best session we had so far, because I didn't try as hard and because I let those higher powers take the wheel and direct me, because I myself don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm only being guided to to how to do these things.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for your vulnerability as well, because I feel like a lot of practitioners out there, including myself, it's like we want, of course, to be the best, to provide the best, but sometimes you just remind us to be at flow. We are just a channel. Whatever it comes, we've been supported and loved. Whatever comes through us. We're that channel, but everything's always divine guided. Right?
That is the whole trip, is you're divinely guided. But I think back to what I was saying is, if you don't feel like you can slap, if you don't feel like you can tap, if you don't feel like you can pinch, if you don't have, whoops, I just hit the, but if you don't have every move, it's not always the person always needs soft. Sometimes it's tough love, sometimes it's a communication. So that's the thing, is to have the biggest paint box, the biggest range of colors, the biggest range of, sometimes I make sounds. I have instruments here. Sometimes I use my voice where I make whale sounds or very high pitched sounds and explode energy out of people's bodies. So it's working with breath, sound, movement, touch. And you have to find, like when you're in an orchestra or when you're in a jam, when you're jamming with other people making music, you know how much to insert of your instrument and how slow to go or what rhythm and how to tune in. So that's how I work, is I just tune into that person, and I like to go into rapport and feed them the nourishment that they need, that their body needs, to whatever our intention is that we create at the beginning of our session, then usually it's fulfilled. And sometimes I even give homework for that person so that they can remember how to bring themselves back to that state of joy and that good feeling that they had at the end of the session when they broke free and they felt something really amazing. Sometimes I have people write it so that they can always look back, so they can remember that session, because a lot of times things go in, they don't remember that happened. Wow, before that I was really shut down, and now I'm in a different place. So the sessions are very holistic, and that's how I've always worked, is holistic. And the more different threads, for me, the more different people I study with and types of treatments that I learn, then I have access to do that with a person, or that, the freedom to not just color in the lines, color outside the lines, add sparkles to it, add, whatever it is that's required. So
Beautiful. And I think that's the beautiful of the feminine energy, that we are helping Mother Earth to rise up, because we're very conditioned on doing things on the old masculine way. A lot of people will even wants to rationalize what is happening. And that's the beauty of what we've been doing for all of us. It's like just trust. That's the feminine, surrender and trust and the flow, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen beautifully.
that's right. Like when you have children, I don't have children, but you never know what they are requiring, and they tell you. How does the baby tell you? You start to learn, you become intuitive, you know what to feed it, you know what it likes, where how it likes to move, what kind of games it likes to play. And so there's no manual for motherhood. They all have to intuitively learn how to be with. And that's originally how we were as healers. We knew we have to bring chicken soup to this person. We have to, touch their bones. We have to just lay our hands on. We have to pray over them. So it wasn't as stylized or ritualized in terms of you have to get a degree in this or that in the past. It was just we naturally knew how to feed and nourish and heal each other. So, yes, back to the divine feminine,
Oh, beautiful.
back to the love, back to the heart.
Back to the heart. Yes. Well, thank you so much. I would just like to go back to the living room, that we
Yeah,
can
let's go.
finalize sharing
Sure.
our.
Thank you.
All right, and that's our final step for our interview. We're just gonna let her open to share whatever she would like, and of course, say thank you so much for your knowledge, for your love, all your wisdom, and for we being together in that Earth Ascension, and being building a better world for all of us. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah. And if anybody feels drawn to working with me, I'd love to see. I have openings for more new clients now. This year is a very powerful year for us all to open ourselves up to these new frequencies. And I'm available. And um, my cell phone is 808-280-0123. It's very simple, 0123. I was given like an original phone number from AT&T even. And I'm here in Kihei, right on the ocean here. And I take people out occasionally on trips in the ocean. Sometimes people hire me to breathe them on the water or help them overcome their fears of the ocean or water or swimming, and body work and different tarot or psychic readings or coaching packages. So I'm available on any level if anybody wants to see me on Devaka here in Maui, and we can even set up phone or
Online
Zoom.
sessions.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do
Okay.
online. And Shamantrix, SHAMANTRIX.com, Shamantrix, or MauiTantra.com if you're interested in Tantra. My Shamantrix has grown out of the Tantra. Before I was transformational body work. My work has just expanded to be like what I shared with you. It's on so many dimensions that it was great to share with you how holistic my package is these days. I was just with somebody, they said, "Oh, are you a yoga teacher?" My chiropractor said, "Oh, are you a yoga teacher?" Yes, I'm a yoga teacher in 3 traditions. He said, "Where do you teach?" I said, "Well, now it's more in my private sessions. I just incorporate that into it. So sometimes people getting up off the table, I have them go into different yoga poses, and then I can stretch them into those poses and open things there. So it's the same with almost every part of it. It could just be only that, but I like incorporating all the different elements and make it more multidimensional for people. So it's mind, body, spirit. Everything gets integrated by the end of the session. And of course, maybe for some people, it's not just one session. It's nice to come back and have several sessions or have a package of sessions. So I'm available.
Perfect. And of course, I will leave all her information down here if anyone would like to contact her. I'm going to write down below in the video. And that was it for today. I really appreciate again one more time your help. And we are in tune, helping each other for a better world. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
until next time.
Namaste. The goddess in me sees the goddess in you.
Oh, yes.